All right, hello peeps. My name is Judy May, and today is the first day that I am going to talk about the first topic on this new channel. And I think what we'll start with is severe child abuse, okay? A lot of people have been through this. A lot of people have been through this. Now, I was severely abused from age 6 to 15. That was just the sexual abuse, mind you not. The mental, verbal, emotional abuse started all the way before then. Then there was the physical abuse. My father was insane. He would just beat us. He would get very angry and just be, I could always tell what kind of mood he was in. He would get up in the morning and he had this hard hairbrush. And he would slam it down on the bathroom counter if he was angry. And I knew we were about to get hurt, But if he just placed it down, because I became programmed to listen for that, as we do when we're children that are being abused and go through that kind of trauma. It was bad. I remember the first moment that my father touched me inappropriately. I remember the color of shorts he was wearing, the room that I was in, everything. So this would be a trigger warning for some people, but in all that time, all those years, I was not allowed to have friends. I wasn't. I tried to have a friend once. She was a black girl, and my father was very prejudiced, and I really liked her. Well, I wasn't allowed to hang out with her. Because one day, I thought it'd be nice and carry her books for her to school. And he flipped out and called her the N-word and said that she should be carrying my books, not me. Yeah. So, needless to say, I lost my friend. One day I was walking to school and I seen her walking the other side of the road, and I tried to talk to her. Every time I crossed over to that side of the road to talk to her, she would cross over to the next side. So I thought, okay, well, you're going to do that. Well, so I thought, I'll push my brother across the road. Then, he can be there when she gets caught up. And then what's she going to do? Because she's not going to be able to cross because it'll be my brother or me. You got to talk. Well, I wasn't paying attention to traffic and I pushed my brother. My brother almost got ran over. That was really bad. All because of that crap. Stupid. My mother knew about the abuse from age 12 and on. She didn't know about it before then. She knew about some of the other abuses, but not the sexual stuff. She worked all the time. All the time. Always working, always working, always working. My father would work here and there at the scrap metal yard, and he spent his money on things like weed, comic books, video games. We always had the new video game system, It's probably where I got my game collecting from. He was a super geek, but my father was insane, you have to know. He basically made me his best friend and lover, but I was his daughter. It was bad. Folks, it was bad. Now my brother, he was abused too. We'll talk about that in a later video because that's a whole different subject and topic. So anyway, we were talking about how I got through it, right? And if you're someone going through this abuse and you're going through it, or you've come out of it and you want to know how you dealt with it mentally, how to heal and stuff. Yeah, I talk with my hands and arms a lot. I have OCD, so. Anyway, as a kid, what I did was actually probably considered today astral projection, and I didn't even realize I was doing that. I literally left my body. It could just be disassociation, but for me, I was leaving my body, and my body and spirit and soul, my soul would go out of my body, right, when it all started at night, and go up through up through over our neighborhood. I would see the house and everything below me, you know. And I keep going up and up and up, up and up and up, up and up and up, all through the Earth's atmosphere, everything until I was in space. I felt super safe in space. Because you're not being molested in space. Right? So it was crazy. I don't know. Sometimes I would see other things. You know, I'd get close down by Earth and I would go over. I remember when the fair was going on one year. I can't believe I'm just remembering this. That's crazy. Spirit's having me bring this up. I remember when the fair was going on and I left my body and could see the Ferris wheel at the fair moving. Up in the, I kid you not, up in the sky. My soul. That is so crazy. You know, so I used that to help me get through it. I used the power of imagination to get through it. I checked out a lot of books in the library. You know, this is back in the early 90s, okay? Went and checked out a bunch of books. I would do that. You know, I'd play video games, you know. I'd go outside, you know. I'd use my imagination to play. And that helped me through the abuse, okay? Now, we did have our grandparents that would take us. And that was helpful, you know. But it was hard to always go back. Every night, almost every night, I was abused sexually in my bed, in my room. You know, there was this hole in the wall. It looked like an eye, the shape of an eyeball, like the shape of my eye. I always called it God's eye. You know, my grandparents are Catholic, so when I was a little girl, I learned about God and all that. So I would cry to that eye in the wall. It's, I don't care if it sounds pathetic to some people, but that's what I did. I remember coloring it in blue. Colored it in blue. And I would ask God, you know, do you hate me? Like, what is going on? Save me, God. Save me. I used to ask God every day, when am I going to get out of this? You know, I was a very wise child. My brother was too. My father was a very intelligent man, mind you not. He wasted his life. He wasted his talents. You know, he had issues when he was a child, so he didn't break those chains. He didn't break that cycle. I did. Thank God, I did. But, you know, I held on to my inner strength that whole time. Does that make sense? Held on to my inner strength. That is a big thing. That when you're going through some kind of abuse, any kind of abuse, what you're going to want to do is hold on to your inner strength. Okay? And that might sound easier than done. And it is. Because when I was the age of 10, I wanted to kill myself. That was the first time I ever wanted to commit suicide. My life was a complete crazy mess. I would have to lie at school and pretend like I had a normal family. So I don't like liars to these days, and I don't like lying. I'd rather just tell the truth because I was forced to do it for how long? It was ridiculous. So be true to yourself, your authentic self, and hold on to your inner strength. And if there's anybody in your life at all that you can lean on them. Find out how to get out. In today's day and age, there's so much technology. It's so much easier to find ways to get out of that, or ways you can escape that, or help that you can receive. Back in my day, you know, I read encyclopedias for fun. Glad I did, because it made me very knowledgeable. But, you know, my father was a monster. He was created that way. You know, because we all know that evil's not born, it's made. And his stepfather was a monster. And probably so on and so forth. So the cycle wasn't broken. It is now, though. I will tell you, I'm a mom. I love my children. And if anyone ever touched my kids, it would be bad. It wouldn't be good. I would push legal charges all the way. Just so you know. I would do everything to protect my children. And that's what we should do. All, like, as adults, we should all, it is our job to protect all children, no matter what, whether it's your kid or not. I was a very strong child, very strong teenager, you know. My grandparents were a big help. They really were. But also holding on to my inner strength in my own imagination, my own world. It's okay when you're going through some kind of abuse and it really sucks to hold on to your imagination and kind of live there for a little while. That's what I call it. I think that's okay. It's just when you come into the point where you are out of that said abuse, don't keep living there. Start living in your reality. I think that's where a lot of us get confused. We live there, and then into our adult life we start continuing, or later on, because you could be an adult going through this abuse, okay? Who knows what your situation is? And you're going on after you get out of the abuse and you don't know how to live in reality. It's kind of like when prisoners leave prison and they go into the real world. It's kind of like that. Or when someone gets out of a cult after years and years and years, you know. That's how it is. And if anyone is going through this, and if you've just gotten out of this type of situation, and you don't know who to turn to because every counselor probably doesn't know what you're going through, you want to talk to someone, but how do they know what you're going through? They didn't go through it, or so you know. I am definitely available to reach out. You can find me on Instagram as Ms. Forcroft, MIZZ, number 4, and then Croft, CROFT. I am on Instagram as that. You can reach out to me, and I will talk to anyone that's going through a hard time. I'd be there. It's Ms. Forcroft, by the way, at gmail.com as well. You can reach to me through my email, okay? I will make sure to put that under the description. But just know you're never alone. The universe is there. Your ancestors are with you. God, the angels, Spirit, Holy Spirit, your spirit guides, whoever you believe in, Buddha, whatever. We are not alone. Even though we feel like we are alone, we are not alone, and it will pass. This too shall pass. It will not continue. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. There always is. Don't stay stuck in that despair. I know it's hard. When you're going through that, I know. You gotta keep pushing forward. Just count 10 seconds at a time if you have to. I'm gonna handle this for another 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a deep breath afterwards. Just take another deep breath, might as well. Right? If you can't even take a deep breath. Because I know what that's like too. Being so scared you can't even take a deep breath. Hold on to something. Focus on something. Focus on anything in your environment. Anything. And just focus on that. I wish you the best. Anyone going through this, just know that you're not alone. There are people out there like us. We've suffered through. It's hard. You can get through this. You can absolutely 100% get through this. And someday, you can go out there and reach out to the world like I'm doing, and you can help people. You can help them. You can help change someone else's life. And that is my goal on this channel. And that is just one topic. There will be many more. I'll probably get into details of things. But that's where I wanted to start, because that was the start of my birth. And life has been hard ever since then, and I am 38 years old. I have never had an easy life, I will tell you. Trauma is real. The struggle is real. Every day, it's a warfare in your mind. Different parts of your mind are at battle. But reach out to those who are going through it. There's probably self-help groups on Facebook if you're on Facebook. You can reach out to me. You can look up other videos. You can go check out books. You can meditate. You can talk to Spirit, talk to God, whoever. And just get through it. Get through it and get help after. I strongly urge, get help as soon as you can. If you're trying to get out of the situation and you're scared and you don't know how, I suggest praying. I suggest shutting down emotionally. I know this is crazy sounding. When you are going through that situation, you need to shut down emotionally so you're not getting hurt, okay? I call it Autobot mode. Robot mode. We just go through the day-to-day activities and do what needs to be done. Without emotion. Disassociation. And deal with it. Your time will come where you can escape, where you can get out. It will come. Just look. Sometimes you just gotta look. Find your opportunity. Find it. You will find it. And then get help. And if you're out of it, then good. Get help. I can't stress that enough. Therapy, you know? Mindfulness, medication if you need it. Positive coping skills, everything. So, anyway, big hugs to anyone going through this. I love you. I don't know you, but I love you. Okay? As a person that's going through it, has gone through it, I get it. It will pass. This will pass. Hang in there, okay? And I will be back on for next time for another crazy topic of my life on Croft Continues. Thank you.